Hey everybody, welcome back to an episode of the 3 Count Super. I'm War Machine MJ, and I'm here today to talk about NXT's Great American Bash, which ran at the same time as AEW's Fyter Fest. Now there was some scrutiny about this could be counter programming, but Triple H, of course, he said, no, this isn't really counter-programming. This was kind of like a midway point between takeovers. Of course, we had Takeover in Your House about a month ago, I want to say. And then SummerSlam being, well, the Takeover before SummerSlam being next month. So, and given this past episode of NXT, which was yesterday was 16th, the July 15th edition of NXT. It really cemented that fact because there was a lot of moving on. I'll get to that episode later. But right now, let's go ahead and talk about Night 1 and Night 2 of Great American Bash. Of course, Night 1 of Great American Bash took place on July 1st, same night as Fyter Fest Night 1. We kicked off the show with a fatal 4-way elimination match to determine the #1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship. We had Tegan Nox taking on Candice LeRae, taking on Dakota Kai, taking on Mia Yim. This was a slap banger of a match. All four ladies went out there and killed it. Candice LeRae was first eliminated, followed by Dakota Kai, followed by Mia Yim. Then Tegan Nox put away Dakota Kai for the victory. 20 minutes, 37 seconds. Slap banger. Next, we had Timothy Thatcher taking on Oney Lorcan in a singles match with both men whose offense is just about as ugly as they are. But this was a damn good match. They kicked the shit out of each other. Timothy Thatcher beat Oney Lorcan by submission with the Fujiwara armbar. Then he proceeded to hold on to that Fujiwara armbar after the bell with a crazed look in his eye, which made him look even more psychotic. Next was a handicap match between Rhea Ripley and Robert Stonebrand and Aaliyah. If Rhea Ripley had lost, she would have joined Robert Stonebrand. Now, there was some comedic stuff with Robert Stone, but he was dispatched early on. And of course, this was a no-brainer for Rhea Ripley. She put away Aaliyah in 10 minutes, 3 seconds. Next, we had Dexter Lumis taking on Roderick Strong in a strap match. Now, this match was all right for what they had to work with. Considering there's a lot of limitation with a strap match, they still found ways to make it entertaining. Of course, Dexter Lumis put away Roderick Strong in 16 minutes flat. And finally, in the main event, we had the NXT Women's Champion Io Shirai taking on Sasha Banks. This match was just amazing from top to bottom, of course. These two put on a clinic like their respective heroes did. Of course, Io Shirai draws inspiration from Rey Mysterio, and Sasha draws inspiration from Eddie Guerrero. So those two put on magic, especially Halloween Havoc. These two forgot what I was going to say. These two had the same magic as they tore it up in the ring. Of course, Sasha had Bayley by her side, and down the stretch, Io Shirai got some familiar assistance as Asuka showed up and green misted Sasha in the face while the referee was distracted with Bayley, allowing Io Shirai to get the victory and both women's champions standing tall. 14 minutes, 1 second. We move on to Night 2 of Great American Bash. And we had a dark match that wouldn't come into play later. Well, that wouldn't be talked about until later, where Tony Nese defeated Leon Ruff. We'll get to that in a second. Um, yeah, Night 2 took place on July 8th, of course, running parallel with Night 2 of Fyter Fest. You get the point. We kicked off the show with Candice LeRae taking on Mia Yim in a street fight. Now, this match came about last week. Well, it was announced on the week previous, because while Candice LeRae was giving an interview, she went off screen to throw hands with Mia Yim. Of course, during the kerfuffle, Isaiah Swerve Scott was, trying to separate them, and Johnny Gargano got up in his face, which led to them having a match later on in the night. But Candice and Mia Yim just beat the holy hell out of each other with a bunch of rough-looking spots, including the finish, which saw Candice LeRae hit Mia Yim with a swinging neckbreaker from the top rope while they were standing on a ladder draped across the top rope. Yeah, it was one hell of a fight. 15 minutes, 51 seconds. Next, remember that dark match I told you about a couple of minutes ago? Yeah, the story there was Tony Nese beat Leon Ruff, and then afterwards he just disrespected him, which drew the ire of Bronson Reed, who a couple weeks ago, Bronson Reed had squashed Leon Ruff and showed him the courtesy of helping him to the back. So that led to Bronson Reed taking on Tony Nese. Yeah, Bronson Reed had no trouble putting away Tony Nese. 5 minutes, 15 seconds, flat. Next was Johnny Gargano taking on Isaiah Swerve Scott. This was a fantastic match. However, in the end, Johnny Gargano lives up to the hype. He puts away Swerve Scott. 14 minutes, 15 seconds. Next, we had a no-brainer of a tag team match as Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wilde, and Raul Mendoza took on Drake Maverick and Breezango, who were cosplaying as luchadors. Yeah, this was a fantastic match, but on paper, Breezango's going to lose. But, yeah. Legado del Fantasma put away Drake Maverick and Tyler Breeze and Fandango, with Santos Escobar putting away, hitting Drake Maverick with the Falcon Arrow, or Thrill of the Hunt, as I like to call it. 10 minutes, 38 seconds. Next, we had the reintroduction of Mercedes Martinez, who defeated Santana Garrett. 2 minutes, 39 seconds. Next, we had a backstage promo where Robert Stonebrand tried to work on his pitch to Shotzi Blackheart. Of course, Shotzi didn't want none of it, and that prompted Robert Stonebrand to accidentally throw his coffee onto Killian Dane, who was standing behind him. Killian Dane dropped Robert Stone like a bad habit, and then Shotzi Blackheart ran over his leg with her tiny little tank. And finally, that led to the main event. Winner takes all match between Keith Lee, the North American champion, and Adam Cole, baby, the NXT champion. These two men put on one hell of a performance. They kicked the dog shit out of each other. And they gave everything they had. Adam Cole didn't have any UE shenanigans to fall on, but yeah, he fell to the limitless one as Keith Lee put him away 19 minutes 55 seconds. Keith Lee is the first ever dual champion in NXT history. Of course, he now goes by the moniker of Keithy Two Belts. So yeah. Afterwards, there was a nice handshake of respect between Adam Cole and Keith Lee, while the whole Performance Center basked in his glory. Of course, the result got spoiled because of some amateurs at the Performance Center. But yeah, it was just a nice feel-good celebration for Keith Lee winning the championship. Just somebody who worked so damn hard getting that belt and really deserved it, if you ask me. But yeah, so that's Great American Bash. Yeah, really good show. And that being said, if you miss Rod and his opinions, he has a podcast out. Go check it out. It's called Prime Talk with Rodimus Prime on the Castbox app. Just go give it a listen. He he works hard on it. I don't know. I haven't listened to it, but yeah, you should totally go listen to his podcast. That being said, I'm War Machine MJ, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.